Hi, my name is James. I'm with EasyBankruptcyForms.com, and I'm here to tell you all the steps that you need to take in order to receive a successful Chapter 7 bankruptcy discharge without a lawyer. I'm not here to tell you whether or not to file for bankruptcy. The assumption is if you're watching this video, you've already considered your financial alternatives, and you've already decided that bankruptcy is the best option for you. Now, a typical Chapter 7 bankruptcy is going to take 100 days from the day you file until the day your bankruptcy is discharged. Now, there's going to be a lot of other stuff that you need to do before you file. I'm here to go over all that stuff and all the steps on this tutorial. I know it might be a little overwhelming. There's a more detailed written tutorial on our website at easybankruptcyforms.com. Now, I know some of you are going to watch this video and say, hey, very informative, but I'm going to hire a lawyer. I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm going to go over it as we go along, that even if you hire a lawyer, you're going to have to complete most of these steps that I'm going over right now without the help of that lawyer on your own. Now, EasyBankruptcyForms.com is a bankruptcy software company that greatly helps in the preparation of your paperwork. But this tutorial primarily goes over all the steps to a Chapter 7 bankruptcy discharge other than the paperwork. Now, the first thing you need to do before you file for bankruptcy is find out if you actually qualify for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. If you skip this step and you don't qualify for bankruptcy, you're not going to know for a couple months, and then your case is liable to be dismissed, and you're going to be at square one and several months lost. So save some time, avoid the headaches, plan ahead, find out if you qualify for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. There's a government qualifying form called the means test. We've simplified it and posted it on our website at easybankruptcyforms.com. You can download it for free and find out if you qualify for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in about 5 minutes. Now, with the assumption you already know you do qualify for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, the next step is find out who you owe money to. What are the names and addresses of your creditors? Now, if you hired a lawyer, they'd get your Social Security number and then run a credit report on you and get the information that way. But you know you can run a credit report on yourself for free, and we'll show you how for free on our website at easybankruptcyforms.com. The next step is to take your mandatory credit counseling course. Now, this is something you need to do on your own with no help, whether you hire a lawyer or not. It sounds intimidating. It's not. It's an online, no-fail course, going to take you about an hour to complete, going to run you about $50. At the end, you're going to get a certificate of completion, and you're going to need to file that certificate with the rest of your bankruptcy paperwork. Now, your bankruptcy paperwork primarily is your assets and liabilities in writing presented to the Bankruptcy Trustee. Now, you already know your liabilities. It's the names and addresses of your creditors that you got on your credit report that you ran for yourself. Your assets are things like your house, your car, your clothes, your bank accounts, things that a lawyer doesn't know all of because only you would know what you own. So if you hired a lawyer, that lawyer would have you use some sort of bankruptcy software similar to the very same software that we provide at easybankruptcyforms.com for under $50. Now, since this deals with all of your personal possessions and what you're going to keep after bankruptcy, you don't want to complete that step in one day. You want to take your time and make sure it's very, very accurate. At the end, you're going to have a mountain of paperwork. You want to make 2 copies of that. You want to bring them to the court, get them both stamped. Give one to the court, keep one for yourself. If the court says, hey, you didn't file this, you could say, oh, yes, I did, and I have your stamp to prove it. Now, this is a step, filing for bankruptcy, that the day you file, that a lawyer will do completely for you. But you can do it on your own. It'll take you about 5 minutes once you're there. It's day 1 of those 100 days of bankruptcy, and the court clerk, if you don't apply for a bankruptcy fee waiver, is going to request $299, and that money must be in either cash or money order. Now, at the end, you're going to get a receipt. That receipt's going to have 4 important things: your case number, the bankruptcy judge name, the bankruptcy trustee name, and your court date, which is also known as your Meeting of Creditors, and it's going to be scheduled about 40 days out. Now you're at day 1 of your bankruptcy, and between day 1 and day 40, there's going to be a lot of things going on, and as it pertains to you, what you've got to remember to do is to respond to any written correspondence from either the bankruptcy court or your newly appointed bankruptcy trustee. Now, your bankruptcy trustee gets your file on day 1, and he's going to require some additional paperwork. More than likely, last year's tax statement, a couple bank statements, and last month's pay stubs. And if you didn't file all the paperwork completely on day 1, the court isn't going to just dismiss your case right there. They're going to send you something in writing that says, hey, you forgot this one paper. So you have ample time between day 1 and day 40 to get it in there before your case is dismissed. So the lesson to be learned, respond to all written correspondence from the court and the bankruptcy trustee within the first 40 days of your bankruptcy. Before your meeting of creditors, everything's going to run smoothly. Now, day 40 is your meeting of creditors. That's the first day that your creditors have to dispute your bankruptcy. In theory, it's the day that you meet face-to-face with your creditor and your bankruptcy trustee. But the reality is your creditors will not show up to this meeting, so it'll be just you and your bankruptcy trustee. And if you've replied to all the written correspondence over the last 40 days with your trustee, you'll be in and out of this meeting in about 10 minutes. It'll run very, very smoothly for you. So now you're at day 40 of your bankruptcy. As you know, a bankruptcy takes 100 days. There's a 60-day period where your creditors can dispute your bankruptcy in writing. So you have to wait out that 60 days. And more than likely, if they didn't show up for your meeting of creditors, they're not going to dispute your bankruptcy in writing. So you just have to wait those 60 days. You'll get your bankruptcy discharge. You have to do one thing, though, between the meeting of creditors and the next 45 days, and that's to pass your financial management course. It's very similar to the credit counseling course that you took right before you filed. It's online. It's no fail. It'll take you 2 hours to complete. It'll cost you $50. When you're done, you're going to get a certificate of completion. You need to take that certificate of completion. You need to go back to the court and give it to them and say, hey, I did that. You need to do that within 45 days after your meeting of creditors. Then you just wait for the rest of those 60 days to pass. You should get your bankruptcy discharge. A couple days later, you should get your bankruptcy discharge papers in the mail, then start repairing your credit, live the rest of your life. Now, I know a lot of you have lost your job, and you may be considering Chapter 7 bankruptcy as one of your options. This is not to tell you whether it's the best option for you or not. This is just to tell you, once you've decided to file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, what the proper steps are to get a Chapter 7 bankruptcy discharge. If you think bankruptcy is the best option for you, my name is James. I'm here for you. I'm with EasyBankruptcyForms.com. Good luck with your bankruptcy.